It's a snapshot of poverty in America. 92–93% of our kids are low income, so that would mean a family of four, the family makes less than $18,000 in a year.
Dad's on drugs, mom's on drugs, an environment that school's not a priority.
There's definitely a need in the Lawndale community for a high school, especially a charter high school.
The whole idea of the charter was, how could you redesign a school to maximize the chances of people from under-resourced communities graduating from a competitive college? If you walk in the door of our school, there are no metal detectors. We think metal detectors do not prepare kids for normal life. Our kids are like all of America's kids. They're kids that can do well if they're put in a school that grows them.
Our children in this community need to go to college so they can better themselves and come back and be a role model for the community.
There's a lot that comes from being from this neighborhood, but also having the ambition of wanting to go to college. I'm a former Chicago Public School teacher. In a CPS school, sometimes you have to go by, it's reading time, you have to go. But if a student is depressed or there's something going on, there was a fight at school, you kind of have to stop, slow things down, see where a student is. And here I'm able to do that. I'm able to pull a student aside and say, okay, what's really going on with you? I don't have the pressures of the clock.
When I attended the previous school, I got into a lot of trouble as far as like fights and everything. When I came here, it was like a start over.
I think when I came in here, I really didn't know what my potential was. And when I got here, teachers were also influencing me, telling me that I was great and I could do it and I was smart and pumping me up, trying to tell me that I am somebody, I am someone who can exceed the norm.
We think that parents should have choices of high education quality institutions. Charters are those.
I have 3 sons, and Rashaad is my only son that actually went to school 4 years to graduate.
It comes down to exposure, basically. I have 2 young men in my life. One who's exposed to the corners, street violence, drugs. On the other hand, you have my younger son, Joseph. He's been exposed to people in places that would allow him to fulfill this God-given potential.
I was the second student in the door in 1998 at North Lawndale College Preparatory, and I stand before you today in 2006, a graduate from Southern Illinois University, on time.
A lot of students are the first in their families to go off to college. They come into a college prep situation not really aware of what it's going to take to go on to college.
That's one of the reasons that we're different. We have the freedom to spend money in ways we think are intelligent and grow kids. We can spend money sending our kids away during the summers to colleges and universities all over the country.
North Lawndale got me ready for college by the traveling. Like, I got used to traveling up here, so I wasn't nervous about going away far and being on my own.
They try to get us like out our comfort zone, and we go to like different states and we interact with different people all by ourselves so we get used to like the college life.
They've been to places I've never even been. They went to Atlanta and they visited some colleges.
I hung around college freshmen, college sophomores. We got the whole college experience, parties and everything. It was a good time.
My family, we don't have a lot of people that went to college, so if they're getting the feel for it and loving it, it's more likely that they'll go.
Then sophomore year, I was honored to go to Howard University. And I went there for a whole month. I was in class with graduate and undergraduate students, and I felt so intimidated, but I got on my books, and it became very easy. All you have to do is study really hard.
Our kids take more English and math. They come into our school behind, so our requirement is 5 credits in English and in math because we happen to think kids need to be writing, reading, and doing math more in order to increase their chances of being successful in college.
I feel like North Lawndale was a harder school than Jackson State. We used to have to do 5-page papers every day here. you know, and I can count how many 5-page papers I did in college.
Mark comes home every night with like 50,000 hours of homework. So it's like he gets home at 7, then he's not finished with homework till 10, and then he has to eat, take a bath, then go to sleep. And then it's like he's back at school at 6 o'clock in the morning. And it seems that the students here don't have a problem with being here because they like the atmosphere and they just enjoy it.
They start a fire within you, and you can't stop once it started. They come bring you in as freshmen. They let you know you are somebody. Don't believe what society says about you. Don't believe in stereotypes.
Our mascot is the Phoenix. It's a metaphor for what kids can do. You put them in a community in which they're known, they're loved, there's high standards and robust personal support. They will become Phoenix. They will rise.
Most kids get in trouble around my community because they don't have nothing to do. If they're not in school, then they're out on the streets.
This is not something that you get every day. If it was any other place that I could have been, I wouldn't have changed for nothing in the world.
Like ever since I've been here, everything been changing for me. Like it's like a bigger view.
North Lawndale made me more self-aware. I didn't know my greatness, now I do.
I found out what I put my mind to is what I do. So if I go to class and say I'm going to pass this test, I'm going to pass the test.
It's a lot of outlets at this school here. And there's opportunity everywhere.
I wish every parent had the same opportunity because this is something that every child should have an opportunity to be exposed to.
In spring of 2006, the Chicago Tribune plastered a story on its front page. This article proclaimed that out of every 100 African-American male freshmen, only 3% would graduate from college by the age of 25. That same Tribune article said that only 6% of 100 African-American female freshmen would graduate from college. But you can change that. You can change the odds. You can change society. So 2%? I don't think so, guys. 6%? Unacceptable, ladies. This is North Lawndale College Prep. Here it's 100%.